An honor to talk to you again. Love the film. I want to get into the selective focus you chose to do in the film, where you had focus in the background. It would be blurred out. The 178 was amazing. The Larry Fong Easter egg made me really happy to see the magician in there. But can you talk about the selective focus choice and kind of how you designed that and what the...
Yeah, I had, yes, well, thank you. Thanks for having me. But I had gone down this sort of optical rabbit hole for the last few years. I've been shooting a lot of stills with these with the Dream lenses, which are these 50 mil Canon lenses that I've been really into. And I got it in my head that I was going to shoot the movie with these lenses because they have incredibly thin aperture. Like they open to a 0.95, and at their when the lens is fully open, it's really the skinniest depth of field you can imagine. And that was part of the reasons why I was the DP of the movie, because I said, okay, I want to shoot the movie myself. And so I just don't think it's fair for me to impose that kind of restriction on a DP where they would literally be stuck with my crazy lens choice that, you know, probably end up getting them fired by the studio. So I thought I would take the rap if anyone was going to take it.
Did that actually help you with the Tig scenes, like replacing her in those shots? That having the blurred background?
Weirdly more difficult, to be honest, because of the lens. The bokeh is so particular and so crazy, and there's a lot of tricks to it. I mean, by the time we got to the Tig shots, Marcus, my visual effects supervisor, they'd sort of figured out the lenses. They knew how kind of they work, so that part was a big plus. But yeah, it's funny because like the movie's really organic. Like I made it in a super organic way. And really what I think the shallow focus does is it gives this kind of weirdly claustrophobic feeling to like wide open spaces that I think is really an interesting and cool thing. But it's funny when we did the Tig shot, the Tig redo, you know, I shot this super organic kind of very creamy, like handheld movie. You know, we tried to shoot time of day. It was very specific lighting, very organic lighting. And then, you know, when I was done with the movie and we had to put Tig in the movie, now I had to do the most technical redo of those same shots that you could possibly imagine, where I had to light them exactly the same on stage, on a dolly, everything like matched perfectly in order to get her in the movie. And it was really a double challenge, you know. You go into something thinking like, oh, this will be cool, like organic, loose, like low budget vibe. And then you find yourself, you know, a year later on a stage with like, you know, a giant, all the lights possible to make that one little moment look like it fits in outside. So it was crazy.
I love that Netflix is putting this out a week in theaters prior to the Netflix releases. It's forcing the theatrical. If you were to, like, on the top of your head, what comes to the top of your head when you go, what are my favorite theatrical experiences I've ever had?
Yeah, Blue Velvet, I would say probably. I remember I saw that movie just in the middle of the day, like a matinee. And I just walked out of that movie into the sun, and I was like shaking. And I was like, "Oh my God, that was insane!" I really thought it was just unbelievable. And just
David Lynch.
It was one of those things, you know, like when you leave a theater, the time of day is abstracted by the movie that you just saw, or like if you come out of, like Lord of the Rings. I remember coming out of Lord of the Rings, and I went in like in the daylight, and I came out and it was like dark. It was like night, and I felt like I had like lived another life. So it's pretty, those movies really, there's that kind of thing, that transportative feeling that you get when you go to a movie like that.
The opening credits here are basically like a short film. It's incredible to watch the arcs of these characters go throughout. I also loved how you spaced the words. It would say like Dave, and it would say Bautista, and it had a big space in between his name, and it was in pink. Can you talk about the lettering and the design of that?
I worked with U&Co on the graphics. They've done a bunch of my movies, you know, and they're an amazing partner. And I had photographed this title sequence, and we had stuck some, but I really loved the idea. Pink was I like the idea of the pink letters, just because I thought it was, you know, this kind of festive and light kind of feeling to it. But like, you could tell that there's like it's always getting a little bit twisted. Even just like my credit is over, like just like this guy being murdered in the hot tub by those, and it's just like a really particular, like you sort of understand the movie in that frame. I think if you know anything, if you've seen it once and you watch the second, you're like, oh, of course, that's totally correct. And we played a lot with the spacing because I like the way it abstracted the words. It like it makes you like almost have to like kind of put it together, because also you're seeing a crazy image at the same time. So there's like this disorienting quality to it. It's really fun.
That's awesome. Well, Zach, congratulations to Rap Me. Congratulations on everything you're doing. Love the 178. It was really great to see that at home on the 178. So congratulations to you. Hope you're staying safe. And thank you for making all the movies you do. You've been one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. I really appreciate it.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Appreciate it,
man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.